All right, Sistas fans. So this is kind of like a brief recap or, just kind of giving my 2 cents on what I have, to say. My thoughts, feelings, and critique of the first half of season 4. And to be honest, most of the bad you've already heard. I mean, in recent videos from episode, let's say, 9, episode 10, and the mid-season finale. Because for the most part, I thought this season's been pretty good. I think in terms of character, it feels like Sabrina was the one who hasn't been given that much to work with. She's been given like the smallest piece of the pie, whereas the other ladies have gotten more to do. And I'm focusing mainly on the other 3 main women: Sabrina, of course, Danny, Andy, and Karen. Zach and Zatima, they're doing their thing. They're still killing it. But I really wanted to focus on the Sistas, not just the, 5th member. If she is technically a member, I don't know. But I think for me, and I mentioned this in my why the mid-season finale was so bad video, season 4 I felt like was a step up from season 3, because you all know I did not like season 3 at all, aside from maybe 1 or 2 episodes. But season 4 started off with improvements. Oh my God, there are customers in the bank and in the salon. I remember that kind of, being a big thing on Twitter. Fans were like, oh, I know this bank ain't got people lined up to the door. It's just the fact that some of the elements Tyler talked about during the after show, some things he said he would do, other things it felt like he dismissed, like when the cast were saying, where they hoped their character would go. And even though he made it clear, like, I'm the one writing the show, it's number 1 for a reason. But when it came to season 4, it's like, okay, Tyler, I see what you're doing. He didn't do everything. But then again, season 4 isn't over yet. So by the end of the season, some of the things I have yet to see him implement on screen may not have happened in the story yet. But basically, we're seeing some, I don't even know if I should say the word growth, but we're seeing some potential updates in character storylines. Honestly, though, Karen, she looked good, though. I think my favorite I look for her was like the first look she had, like the purple and whatnot we saw in like the first episode. I like that. I don't know, she just looked good. But Karen's stank attitude and whatnot is still the same. Honestly, the only good parts about Karen in this season are when Fatima had the clapbacks and whatnot for her. That was pretty much it. She lost me early in the season where she's like, I guess Zach has moved on, so I got to move on too. Just like, you're not going to mess around with Gary anymore, right? And I'm like, right there, I'm like, yep, Karen's still on that bullshit, because what she's doing is she's trying to make it seem like, I'm going to move away from Zach if you move away from Gary, right, Andy? That's really what those vibes were giving me. Now in the mid-season, we know she's still going to try to get him back. And I'm like, are we still on this? And the pregnancy thing. Danny, the Preston stuff, it was just infuriating when she had that moment at the apartment where she literally was, I don't know if this woman just doesn't listen or what, but the whole thing about, you should know what I need. Karen said the same thing to Zach in season 1, and it made sense. Danny saying that to Preston makes no sense, because of the fact that, unlike Zach and Karen, you don't have a 3-month relationship. Hell, y'all barely known each other, 2 weeks, let alone 3 years. And on top of that, he doesn't know everything about the black struggle, black culture. So how's he supposed to know every freaking thing that, would offend you and whatnot? You just suck at communication. But then Danny was in full swing at the penthouse saga, if you will, like the couple episodes where they're at Andy's and they're trying to figure out, about the penthouse and all. That was peak Danny, as well as in the mid-season finale when she's talking to Karen and, when she's telling Andy about the Gary advice. But then, every scene with Preston and Danny, not Preston, but I mean, like, every scene of them together, it was Danny who was like, those were the worst Danny scenes. I'm like, here we go again with this bull crap. From her believing Karen and then popping up at the salon to, interrupting Preston's date. Insufferable shit. But other than that, Danny was like on point for a good 4 episodes of this season, and I loved it. Andy started off good with Robin, but then we got the Gary backslide with the gifts and whatnot. I'm like, I know where this is going. And it looks like we're getting back to Andy using people to test Gary, and that's what it seems like she's going to do with Robin, who I hope is able to put 2 and 2 together and just leave her alone. Hayden's still a nuisance, but he's a good source of comic relief. I'm mad that Gary fooled me thinking that he was actually going to help Zach and not really have any ulterior motives. I should have known better. The less I say about Maurice, Q, and Calvin, the better. I have nothing good to say about those characters whatsoever. But I just have to say that despite the shortcomings in one area or another, I do feel like season 4 is one of the best seasons so far. Now, don't get me wrong, though. The mid-season finale in episode 10, I feel like were the worst episodes of the season so far. And if the back half of the season pretty much goes downhill from there, I wouldn't say this is the worst season. Let's say if the rest of the season is mid-season finale tier or worse, I would still put season 4 above season 3 in terms of being next to last in regards to being the worst season. But my hope is the back half of the season resolves stuff. And I know everybody feels the same way. Why does Zach have to go to jail every freaking season? It's ridiculous. What's going on with this? Wait, did he go to jail in season 1? I can't remember. I don't think he did, but yeah. I know Karen kept putting him in a doghouse, but then he got put in the big house like every season since then. But I think overall, season 4 has promise, but then I just feel like there's a lot of things, a lot of scenes, a lot of time. I don't feel like a lot of the episodes Tyler properly utilizes the 42-minute runtime. I feel it's the best way to put it. Who here actually wants to see the Maurice Q stuff? Who here wants to see Calvin and Sabrina doing the will they, won't they? I mean, at this point, either you want them or not. We've been sick of it. Maurice has said it for the audience since season 2. Look, either you're going to be with him or not. Either you're going to be with her or not. Just leave it alone. We're tired of hearing the same drama over and over again. But I think the biggest handicap of Sisters is the fact that Tyler doesn't want to make anybody lose a job, which is commendable. But when a character has run their course, they've run their course. That's not saying you can't bring them back at some point, but to have them shoehorned in to every season, to almost every episode, you make the characters incompetent, incapable of growth, and so on and so forth. But I do feel like season 4 had potential. It's just the last few episodes seem to squander said potential. And I am concerned because, like I said, the back half of the season could be either very good or very bad. I really hope we get a promo, but I doubt we're going to get any sort of trailer until sometime in May. You know, like a good month in advance from when the show comes back on June 29th. But I do feel like it really, really sucks for the show to still be doing the Andy falling for Gary stunts and Karen chasing after Zach and Sabrina. At least she's attempting to move on, but I do feel she should have been straightforward, saying, I'm going to go out with Bio to Calvin. I mean, sure, they're not together or anything, but at the same time, it would have shown some maturity on her part because it would have one-upped Calvin, who in season 3, hey, me and you, we should do things the way we want to do it. And then he rolls out of bed with Sabrina, only to be caught butt naked with Peggy just a few hours later after the whole bank robbery scenario. So I feel like overall, the ladies, and I mean, so with Danny, I love Preston as a character. He's one of my favorites, but if he's gone, just so we don't have to sit through any more of those cringy Danny scenes where she just like goes on tangents for no reason and belittles him, I'm here for it. Because I'd rather her, you know, possibly pursue Logan. Because at this point, it's like, what the hell would Preston even want to be with Danny for, considering the way she's been acting? And I think that's really it in terms of characters. Like I said, I really don't need. I don't have much to say about Zach and Fatima because they're freaking awesome. So I don't really need to say anything that hasn't already been said. I love Fatima, squashing Karen's plans in regards to hurting her. Zach, I love to see him with the come up, but at the same time, more money, more problems. Just because you have more money, that doesn't mean your problems stop. It just means things keep coming out of the woodworks to try to sabotage you. From Karen with the pregnancy to Hayden to Gary. And this Heatherly Jennings. Aaron, simp times 10. I hate what they've done with the character. The only reason I'm glad Aaron is around is the potential of him being the baby daddy, so Karen can shut up about Zach. And that's about it. There are a lot of characters I wish would show up, like Miss Lisa, to talk sense into her crazy daughter. I would love to see Jasmine one more time. And yeah, that's really about it. I mean, like I said, it's only half of the season. And I've pretty much said everything I've already needed to say in various other videos. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I know there are those who still think Season 4 isn't good. But to me personally, I think because Season 3 was so bad, Season 4 just looks that much better in comparison. It's kind of like the Oval season finale, where a lot of people disagree with my score of an 8 out of 10. But to me personally, that episode was just so much better than a majority of the crap the Oval gave us in Season 3. That I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. So, with that being said, what are your hopes for the back half of Season 4? I might do a video on that later. What did you think of the first half of Season 4? What were some of your favorite moments? What were some of your least favorite moments? And how would you place the season overall? I know it isn't over, but in terms of Seasons 1, 2, and 3, where would you place it in terms of how good do you think it is? Obviously, I put it above Season 3. But I still don't think it's fair to judge it, compare it to a full season like 1 or 2. But if the mid-season finale, yeah, if episodes 10 and 11 were really good, I dare say that, yeah, I would probably play Season 4 over Season 1. That would just be my opinion. But let's talk about it more in the comments section below. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel.